Hi all, and welcome to our latest video where we're going to show you how to make this delicious, flaky, buttery apricot and almond pithivier, a twist on a classic, all recipes on Studio Kitchen. Let's get started with this dish, and first I'm going to show you how to make an almond cream, or frangipan we sometimes call it. So into a bowl we're adding softened butter, icing sugar, pinch of salt, vanilla paste, and then ground almonds. And we're giving it a bit of a mix, a bit of a workout here. You could do this on an electric stand mixer, but I'm doing it by hand using a spatula, getting it nice and pale before adding in one of the eggs. Then incorporating that egg in again before we're going to add the second egg into our bowl. Again, we're going to give this a really good mix and incorporate that egg before we add the remainder of the ingredients. We're going to add in sieved plain flour, and then we're going to mix that together really well before adding in just a little bit of flavour. I'm using some rum here. You could use amaretto, or you could actually omit the alcohol altogether. Look at that, nice and smooth, really great almond cream, and it's ready to be put into a piping bag. This piping bag's been fitted with a plain nozzle. We're going to get all of that in there and just set it aside while we concentrate on the fruit. We're using apricots, they're in season, they're absolutely delicious. I love this fruit, it goes really well with almonds as well. So just tearing 4 apricots apart and removing the stone. You can keep the stones for infusions in creams and ice creams, but we're just going to put them to one side and cut these pieces of apricot in half. So we've got 4 apricots, we're going to end up with 16 pieces. We have a sheet of baking paper, and I've just got a cake tin, or you could use a cake ring, and it's 18 centimeters in diameter. Putting that on top of the paper and then gently pipe in probably about 60% of this almond cream just in a nice little spiral, nice and neat in the center of that ring. The ring is just helping us gauge the size of this, and we want it about 18 centimeters. And once that's done, we're going to add in the chopped pieces of apricot on top. So there they go, just put them in a nice little spiral, nice and neat. And to finish the rest of the almond cream, I'm just going to pipe that on top. Don't worry if it's a little bit messy, this part, because we're going to actually use a spatula and smooth it over. So using our crank handled spatula, or you could use the back of a spoon, just smooth over the top of that almond cream just to cover those apricots, and push it right to the edge of the tin, and it's nice and neat. And once you have something that looks a little bit like this, then you're going to place it into the freezer. Now we're going to chill this right down. We want to be able to chill this down to keep the shape, and also we can then take off the pastry ring. Now I'm using my own puff pastry. You can use store-bought puff pastry, it's up to you, but there's a pastry recipe on Studio Kitchen, so give it a go if you've got time. And we're just getting 2 sheets of puff pastry ready to go. Put them into the fridge just to chill down while we make our egg wash. So egg yolks, pinch of salt, and some cream into a bowl. Give it a little bit of a mix with a fork, and then just push it through a sieve, and that's ready to go. Our almond cream has chilled down really well, so I'm just getting a small paring knife and just running it around the inside of that cake tin just to release it. And I'll just trim up the edges a little bit there with my palette knife, and then put some paper on top, and we're just going to quickly invert it in one go. Be nice and quick with this while it's still chilled down. Remove that top layer of paper, and then we're going to put the almond cream disc back into the freezer until we're ready to go. Taking our chilled puff pastry, you could use a pastry docker. I'm using a fork here, and we're just going to put some holes in the bottom of that puff pastry before adding in apricot jam. Again, you can use store-bought, or you can make the recipe on Studio Kitchen. Placing that almond cream on top of the jam, look at that, pushing it down so it's nice and firm, and then using some of the egg wash. We're going to use this as glue just around the edges before topping off with the second sheet of puff pastry. Now work nice and quickly. Puff pastry's got a lot of butter, so it can melt and go soft really easily. So trying to get no air bubbles at all, and trying to get that top sheet of puff pastry nice and neatly on top of that chilled almond cream. You can see why we chilled the almond cream, because it keeps its shape while we're pressing it down, and just doing a little bit of a seal, just making sure that pastry sticks to the egg wash. And I'm really happy with that. Now it's time for us to cut our Pithivier. So I've got a larger ring here. This is probably about 22 centimeters. I'm just placing it on top and then using my paring knife going around the outside of the tin, and I'm just trying to cut nice and neatly around that tin just to release that puff pastry. Now those trim bits, you can keep those for sausage rolls and rough puff and tartatan, lots of things. Let's egg wash the top. Now we want a first layer, we're going to do 2 in total, so liberally putting the egg wash on and then brushing it off. Make sure you don't get egg wash down the sides of your Pithivier or it won't rise evenly. Put it into the fridge just to chill down for about 10-15 minutes, so you can put it in the freezer before adding our second layer of egg wash. Make sure it's nice and neat, make sure it's on nice and thickly, but then use your brush to kind of take off any excess. And now we're ready to score. Because the almond cream is still nice and chilled, it's really easy for us to score with a skewer or a cocktail stick or the end of a small paring knife. And I'm just starting in the middle and I'm just kind of coming around in this neat pattern before putting a hole in the top of the Pithivier just to let some steam out. Using a fork, I'm just going to go around the edges and just press down, and that's going to make sure that none of that filling leaks out when we bake it in the oven. After another quick chill, it's time to bake. Oven's preheated. Now I'm using these little tinfoil cups to raise up a tray on top, and that's going to ensure that when our pastry rises, it's going to hit the top and we'll get a nice flat surface. So once it's been baked, take it out of the oven, check it out, look at that. That shine on that egg wash is absolutely sensational. It really is fantastic. Nice and baked. We're just going to put it onto a serving plate, and look at that. It smells incredible. It smells really buttery, and you can smell that jam that's been cooking on the inside. Let's give it a cut. I want to hear that pastry as I cut through it. It's best to cut through it with a serrated knife. Now I have let this cool down for a couple of minutes, but I do like to serve this hot, but you could let it cool down completely before serving it. Now cutting through, I'm going to cut a nice big wedge here and all the way through. When we lift it up, hopefully you're going to be able to see that interior. So we're looking for that nice creamy, fluffy almond cream, and then those bursts of fruit, and look at that. This looks absolutely sensational. And let me tell you, it tastes absolutely fantastic too. This is a great dish for you to have in your repertoire. Not too difficult to make, especially with a bit of pre-planning. You can also try a few variations, switching over the fruit for something else seasonal. You can even switch the nut in the frangipane. Anyway, I hope you love this. I hope you make it. Don't forget, all of the recipes are on studiokitchen.com.au. All that's left for me to do now is to tuck into a slice of this Pithivier. Cannot wait. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy.